Hi, I'm Dick Franyo, and I live and own a business in Eastport. And I came here in the 1980s because I owned boats and kept them here. And then I got really smart, and I bought a home, and now I live and work in this wonderful maritime community. This historic neighborhood is surrounded on 3 sides by water. This provided access to the creeks, and Eastport developed as a working class community. And as boatyards, boat building, and oyster packing houses begin to grow, the maritime industry that we know so well steadily evolved. These characters who designed and built boats here, fished here, and opened small businesses call this place home. And they're the heart and soul of Eastport. They are the ones who created this lifestyle and fun traditions that we so enjoy today.
Maybe we should call Eastport the party capital of Maryland.
Now that a bridge repair project has cut them off, drivers are now forced to take a long detour to get there.
Some neighbors want to take advantage of a bad bridge to break away from Annapolis.
That was excuse enough for a 3-week party in Eastport.
Hey, Michael, remember way back in the last century, it was way back in the 1970s, wasn't it?
Oh, no, Kevin, no. What are you talking about?
The Maritime Republic of Eastport.
Well, no. I mean, there were some people back there, but it really got started in the 1990s. 1998.
So how did it start?
Well, it was really funny. I owned the Shell station up in the corner, and one day, Kevin Gersande, who was the manager of the chart house, walked in and said, "Hey, have you heard they're going to close the bridge for repairs for 2 weeks?" And
for 2 weeks?
For 2 weeks, and they told the city, and the city never told anybody.
But that would shut off the Maritime Republic.
Absolutely.
We'd be isolated out here by ourselves.
We're tired of Annapolis.
At Marmaduke's, there were 6 of you. At the next meeting, we had 12 of us.
Right.
And the next meeting, there were like 30 of us. This thing went viral in a heartbeat.
It did. Now, do you remember when it was one of the meetings where Fletcher Holden came up with the idea of designing the flag, and I remember her unveiling the Eastport flag,
yes,
and saying, we like it this way, and everybody just jumped all over that.
And you see those flags all over Eastport now, don't you?
Exactly, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
The flag was going to be based on a classic coat of arms, and with the banner on the top that said, "We like it split this way," because the bridge was closed and we were now separated from Annapolis. And then we had to have symbols that were important to Eastport, so we had instead of lions on each side of the coat of arms, we had the labs with the balls in their mouth. And then the coat of arms was divided into 4 units, and we had a blue crab, a heron, a skipjack, and a workboat. And it was a big hit. So they called me the Betsy Ross of Eastport.
A couple of very famous people, who I will not announce their names at this time, were sitting in a bar lamenting the fact that the businesses in Eastport were losing lots of business. So we should succeed. So they all went home, got some Brussels sprouts and a starter cannon and a couple of muskets, and fired on the city of Annapolis from the Eastport side.
We coordinated our secession with the Annapolis Yacht Club's Sunday sailing race. When the first boat crosses the finish line, they have a little cannon that they pull and it goes boom, and that's normal for Sunday. Well, when they fired their cannon,
unloaded,
we fired back. And it was a surprise to them. And then, of course, it became known, and it was a big hit, and history has shown that it was successful.
Got a matches from Sloppy Joe's. If it's not too windy, we'll try to burn our annexation papers with these. I think that would be appropriate.
We took the Eastport Navy, which was 6 sailboats and 1 small powerboat. We circled the harbor. We captured the harbor and renamed it the Gulf of Eastport.
If you don't have a flag, it doesn't matter. Also, it doesn't matter really what time we start, but the drill is we're going to try to start at 1900.
Flags in hand and tongue-in-cheek, these modern-day freedom fighters march towards the mayor's office.
Sparrow, sparrow, sparrow.
The free and sovereign nation of the Maritime Republic of Eastport requests that you recognize the sovereignty of our nation.
We accept your petition.
That most of us in Annapolis haven't decided what we're going to do when we grow up.
We're here today to declare ourselves the Maritime Republic of Eastport. Mission of our republic is to promote and encourage the patronage of our businesses. By doing so, you're paying a tax which underwrites the cost of our revolution. So eat, drink, and be merry in our republic.
Therefore, we now declare our independence and thereby do celebrate the unique maritime character of our own culture, our own history, our own heritage, our own horticulture, architecture, and naval architecture. Our people, our retrievers and felines, our own neighborhood, our Eastport.
During the course of the days that the bridge was closed, the whole MRE started to grow and grow and grow. People were becoming so excited and the energy was palpable. It was really cool to see so much time spent by people for this cause. And at one of the meetings we decided to have a celebration of the opening of the bridge. And I said, why have a real run? This is not a real anything. Let's have a run across the bridge. And Jeff Holland named it Point of 5K Run. It was my running friend's idea to have everybody have the same number, 21403. And we had a map, we had a water stop, we had a shuttle bus, we had a massage table, everything but the actual run.
I'm actually the premier of the MRE. I'm also driving the pace car today.
Like you just kind of cleaning up the river.
Yeah.
Good.
I wish I had the plow on the front. We encourage everybody to come out. It's a charity event. We love having everybody over, but hopefully the Annapolis people go back over the bridge. We don't have any control.
We were trying to figure out what time to start the run. I didn't want to start it at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's too early. So I came up with the word crack-o noon, which is now the Eastport time of start of everything.
I mean, we've got a 22-second record, I believe, that someone's going to try to beat today. I've got my MRE Homeland Security is here, watching the area.
To the parking lot, please.
They're patrolling. I think we have a Navy coming in too today by dinghy. These are my people.
My people.
This is my security. You see why Annapolis keeps getting in?
The muscle of Eastport or something?
We are. That's what you want to call it.
Going down train for that hill. The hill on the way down was much tougher on the way than on the way up. Yeah.
It was easy, hard. The hydration station took too long to stop at.
It was shorter than I expected it to
be. We're more laid back over here. We're very comfortable in flip-flops and shorts, and we like it this way.
Just so much fun. And I also remember the tug of war. The first tug of war we thought was going to be across the bridge, but no, they said across the harbor. We said that's impossible. You cannot do a tug of war over 1,400 foot of open water. And they said, well, let's give it a try. So 6 weeks later, we had engineered a 2,100 foot rope that goes across the harbor, and we've been using that rope for 18 years now.
Everybody thought it was going to break the first day.
It was great. What a great, great time.
We are the Eastport side of the slaughter across the water. This is our 5th year of straight winds, but we're not going to be arrogant about it. It's all for charity. There is a strategy. You need to go low and pull in cadence. Organization, and all you need to be is heavy and strong. That's it.
Oh, we're gonna take Annapolis down. EYC represent. And we stopped them and came right back. I couldn't believe it. Best left tug ever.
We've had a party for almost 18, 20 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. And we proudly call ourselves what? East Puerto Ricans.
East Puerto Ricans.
And yes, that's really cool.
I've been here probably since the inception, and my husband, her dad, is a trombone player in the Oyster Boys, so we would not miss this event, rain or shine, obviously.
The celebrations got so big that many people wanted to come. We figured, okay, where are we going to do this stuff? I mean, remember sock burning when that first started? What, 20 people showed up?
Sock burning. Now, why do we burn our socks?
Bob Turner went out in a rowboat with a 6-pack of beer one day in the spring, and he says, you know what, I'm going to drink these beers, I'm taking my socks off, and I am not putting these socks back on until the first day of fall.
You actually burn your socks because you've been wearing them all winter long. And there's usually a liquid beverage including beer involved. Yeah, sometimes. All good things happen in Eastport over a pint of beer. So, Michael, cheers. Up the Republic.
Cheers, up the Republic. Some of the people who started the Green Beer Race were also part of the founders of the Maritime Republic of
Green
Eastport.
Beer Races, and that's where you
St. Patrick's Day. Is that at the Democratic Club?
Yeah.
The keg tossing.
Oh, the keg tossing,
yeah.
Of course, the keg tossing.
Big burly guys from Eastport would get a keg of beer, an empty keg of beer, and see how far they could toss it. I think one year a woman won it. You can carry beer or you put it on a tray. They had a bartender's race, they had a kids race, so they weren't carrying beer. They had soda, which was green, but you know, it was a whole family event, and that developed into something.
We have no fun here in there.
No, we don't.
No, it's not just a boarding place. But the fun thing has been that we have been a socially enlightened democracy that has made money for local charities. Yep. The elementary school program, the SPCA, Annapolis Maritime Museum, sailing programs. So all this fun has gone to good use.
Yep.
21403. We are the MRE.
I do this because we raise a lot of money for local charities in the community, in the Annapolis area and the Anne Arundel County area. And it's just, you know, it's fun with a purpose, which is what we do, even though we have a little bit of a quirky way of going about doing things. It's all in good fun, and everything we do through our events is to raise money for local charities.
We've raised close to $500,000 for all the local charities, and a lot of it is domestic violence, literacy programs, up in Chesapeake Bay, SPCA, music groups. So we've done a lot. Small group, pretty powerful.
I've met some great people along the way. You know, you really can't put a price on the friendships and the bonds that you make doing something like this, and it's all for the good of the community.
As a result of becoming involved in the MRE, I was asked to paint a mural on a cinder block wall on 4th Street. That mural was a history of maritime history in Eastport, from 1st Street over to 6th Street, and that's the land. Boat builders and yacht designers and senators, I mean, all levels of the boat building world and the Annapolis world all hung out in Eastport.
I don't know, Eastport, I was born and raised here, so I don't know much of anything else. We've raised on Back Creek. We were in boats when we were 3-4 years old, and we were putting all over the place and just had to be back by dinner. Now, Eastport's always been very popular with boating, and we've always had numerous yards here. The yards have kind of dried up on the other side of the peninsula. In the near future, the only boat yards will probably be in Back Creek.
The maritime businesses historically were the guys who fished and oystered and clammed, and then also the guys who built the boats. I kind of do a little bit of all of that, and so I fit right in. I mean, I fish. I also have a boat building business. It was an accident, and it was one of those things. It literally was on a bar napkin in the local boatyard bar and grill. We designed this boat, and then once we designed it, we thought we'd better build it. So now we build it. We have a reasonably successful business building boats. We ship them from all over the world, and they're called the Eastport 32. And now it's becoming, we're actually putting it on the map. The fishing itself is phenomenal. It's one of the best fisheries I operated. I fish in the Keys in the winter. I fish in Australia and New Zealand. But Annapolis has a unique fishery. Most of my trips are 2 to 3 hours. You catch all the fish you want, and you're back at the dock, and you take it to one of the local restaurants, and they'll cook your fish for you. You can't do that in most other fisheries in the United States.
I've been in Eastport probably 25 years. And got into the water scene and the watermen, and found that you could make a living, and it's an honest living, and I enjoyed it. I hand-tonged, I went gill netting. Then I got into running a travel lift at Eastport Yacht Center. So now I'm working on this charter fishing to start giving people another chance to go out on boats that don't get the chance. Living on a boat in Eastport is awesome.
Hey, come on in, if you dare. How you doing? Want some coffee? Come on down. How do you take it? Cream? Or, it's not that early in the morning, little Mount Gay? Perfect. Brand new bottle. I've been asked quite a bit about how I ended up living on a boat in Eastport. I grew up sailing on an island up the bay a little bit, and I spent most of my life racing boats. Then I got civilized, and I bought a wooden boat. Let me take you on a little tour. Where we are now is the dining room, you might call it, which is also a bunk for sleepers. This folds up into another bunk, the galley. Of course, there's a icebox, refrigerator, freezer in here, the all-important liquor locker. You have 2 more bunks, small library. Now then, the heart and soul of this yacht is the pilot house. Living on board is really great. You don't have to cut grass or that kind of stuff. And I'm in the oldest boatyard in Annapolis right now, Petrini's, and right next to me is Sarles Boatyard, another oldie. Old. Speaking of old, this boat is 50 years old. I'm a little older. Let's say you're having a bad day, you have an argument with your wife or girlfriend. All I have to do is untie 4 lines, start this motor, back up, go through that bridge over there, drop an anchor in Whitehall Bay, and chill. That's all it takes. Living on board is great, but it's where you come back to that's important.
It's a great, loving family and community. People in Eastport really work together. Any community's got problems. It's all in how you deal with the problems. And once you learn how to do that, you got the tiger by the tail.
I grew up all over the world, and Eastport's definitely home. The one thing you're going to stand out from anywhere else, in pretty much any town, is there's not going to be many suits. It's very maritime orientated, a lot of very small businesses, people who make a living doing what they love, and they sort of are their own boss, which I think is happy for a lot of people here.
Good morning, Spa Creek Bridge here. I've been here 11 years. I've never missed a day, and the reason for both of those is that I love this job. Here we go with the opening. Now, doing that, the lights have turned red. Okay, now raise up the leaves. don't want to slam these leaves onto the street. Gotta kind of lay it down soft. I'm the busiest bridge tender on this side of the bay, and I love it. Seeing the people, the water, the location, just everything I see here, right? And the events, the fireworks, 4th of July, parade of lights, which I run this bridge for every parade of lights, so I see the beautiful boats there. It's usually people standing on the bridge watching the races, so I see the vessels coming in, and it's so nice.
Sailing every night of the week in the Eastport, it's been a tradition that if you want to sail, you can sail every night of the week, and I think you can almost sail pretty much every night of the year. Depends how chilly you want to get, you might break ice in the middle of winter. But we always have a saying around here in Eastport that the weekend begins on Wednesday, and then it runs all the way through to Sunday night, and then Monday and Tuesday are nights off, but nowadays they've got races filling those days off too, so it's pretty much we live the weekend all week long.
One of the biggest sailing traditions in Eastport is the Annapolis Yacht Club Wednesday night racing. Every Wednesday throughout the summer since 1959, sailors get out of work early and hit the starting line. With over 100 boats eager to participate, I'd guess that half the population of Eastport is on the water any given night. And that's good too, because the sailors love making a night of it, being together and watching the films after they get off the race course.
That's it. Well, I just had a lot of fun talking about Eastport with you. And of course, you're the historian here. And myself, I still keep busy with the little group, the Oyster Boys. I play with them still. We have a lot of fun.
And the neighborhood wouldn't have that spirit without the Oyster Boys. I mean, you and the Oyster Boys were at every single event playing, pro bono, just to rekindle that spirit. You still do it today.
Well, we're happy to be part of it.
Yeah.
With every new nation, they have to have, of course, their own anthem. So the Oyster Boys wrote this one for the Maritime Republic.
There's a little place across Spa Creek. You get there when you shuffle along Compromise Street. Yeah, you cross the bridge or paddle through the harbor. It's the opposite side of Annapolis proper. When you get there, you leave your worries behind and get the laid back feeling that only you'll find in Eastport. Where? On the bay.
Hey, how you doing?
Over a laid-back crew there in old Eastport. Go to work all year in deck shoes and shorts, yeah. But if you want to give a millionaire a rub, it's got the dirtiest deck shoes over at Patton's Pub. I'll go around the corner to Leon's barber shop and have the mayor himself take a little off the top in Eastport. Oh, take it, boys.
I hope you enjoyed this film. So get your good hat, your good dog, and your good boat, and be a part of what you just saw. Eastport celebrates every regatta, every fishing tournament, every season, every holiday. We even celebrate the full moon. So come see us soon, and we'll see you around the dock.
Across Mr. Bridge Tender and leave it up for good. For all that I care, yeah, the crab pot's steaming, we can pick us a few. I'll shuck them oysters and I'll make the stew. Come on over, leave your worries behind, and get that laid-back feeling that only you'll find in Eastport. Here we go, big ending. On the bay, hey, in Eastport, up on the Chesapeake Bay.